Hey, what's up guys? It's APOC here. I wanted to do a video, kind of a cleaning video, to show people how to take Sharpie off of either Nintendo carts, Super Nintendo carts, and or just pretty much anything plastic, cases or anything else. I'm not sure which YouTuber I saw this from, so I'd like to give them credit, but unfortunately I wasn't unable to find out who I saw do this. I know there's other videos out there of people doing this, but I've had quite a few questions and people asking and wondering how to get permanent marker Sharpie off of their games. So what I wanted to show is how I do it. I know there is multiple ways of doing it, but this is the best way I found out without hurting the cart and or case and leaving any other residue. So what you're going to need, what I use, is a dry erase marker. I use black. I found out it doesn't matter what color the Sharpie is on the case. Black always just kind of overrides that and takes it off, as you'll see. The only other thing that I use is a cloth, part of it dry and part of it wet. I always take off. Once I put this on, I use the dry portion first to take it off, and then the wet portion after that to finish taking off any other residue. I have two things here I'm going to use as an example to show you how to take stuff off. All my NES games are in these Nintendo plastic cases. As you can see, this one's from Bases Loaded. But I have Sharpie up here at the top that someone a long time ago had put on Mario Duck Hunt H. So we're going to get that off. Actually, that should come off quite nicely. The other game I have here is a Tecmo game, Star Force. As you can see, I got it labeled. But the game inside here has Vannies on it. And Sharpie. Put that off to the side. Has that Sharpie on it. So we're going to go ahead, got a little bit of sticker on the back, but we're going to go ahead and use our dry erase marker to take that off. So we're going to go ahead and do it on the case first. Just turn that around. Now it doesn't really matter how much pressure you use. I kind of found out the more pressure you use, the more the dry erase ink goes into the Sharpie and actually takes it off a lot faster. You don't have to go kind of letter by letter. I actually will take off, let's say, Mario kind of in one swoop here. So I like to use small circular motions as I'm pushing on there. And you'll actually be able to see the M as you're doing it mix in with the dry erase Sharpie. There goes the A, R, I. It's kind of hard to see on the video, but looking at it on the case. And then I'll take my dry portion of the rag and wipe it off. As you can see, it's pretty much gone. I'll use the wet portion of it and finish wiping the rest of it off. And there you go. Mario is off. Alright, let's go ahead and take off the rest of this since it shouldn't take too long. Just go right over that. Again, like I said, you don't have to be delicate with it. You can push on it kind of hard. It's not going to hurt it. It just mixes the dry erase ink in with the Sharpie a little bit better. I find that it works better if you push a little harder. Do that. Come across it with the dry portion of it. And the wet portion. And there we go. Mario Duck Hunt H is off. So that case is nice and clean. And I'll go ahead and put that back on Bases Loaded. Alright, let's get our NES game over here. So now that you kind of saw how it goes over with the case, you'll kind of have an idea. So we're going to start right here on the V and do the exact same thing we did on the plastic case. Now that case is smooth, so it comes off really easy. There's that texture on the NES game that makes it a little harder for it to come off, but it's the same theory. Just go in small circles. Go over the name here. And we're trying to see how this will work here. Go over it once real quick. You don't want to let this stuff dry on there either. But once you got all that wrapped on there, take the dry portion of it, wipe it off, and the wet portion, just to kind of clean up the Sharpie. And let's see how it turns out. It's still on there just a little bit. Like I said, with that texture and stuff, you may have to go over it just a couple times. I'll try going over it one more time here. But as you can see, it took off most of what was already on there. Oop. Sorry, let's reset that up here real quick. There we go. Had my setup kind of fall over there. But trying to get the rest of this with this next one. Depending on how bright the Sharpie is, how new the Sharpie is, you might have to go over it multiple times. But like I said, I just kind of press really hard. The first time I did this, after I saw it on YouTube the one time, the game I tested it out on was on Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo. After I started, I was like, oh crap, maybe I should have picked a cheaper title to start off on, but it came out just fine. So, if it's going to work on the expensive ones, it's going to work on the cheap ones too. So, as you can see, you can faintly still see it on there, but for the most part, it takes it all the way off. I'm going to do it one more time, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I did it a third time. Was able to get in there a lot better and wipe it off, and as you can see, it's completely gone. So that's my best method of taking Sharpie off of game cases and NES, pretty much any other game cartridge that has Sharpie on the plastic. So I do not recommend doing it on the label if you have writing on the label. It will take it off using this, but be careful when you're drying it off. It may start taking some of the label off with it as well. There is chemicals and stuff in the pen, and that will start affecting the label. So I like to use this method just on the card itself and keep it off the label. But other than that, I appreciate everybody for watching. If you liked the video, if you could put a drop a thumbs up if you like it. Put a comment in the comments below. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Much appreciated. See you guys later. Bye.